Hello, stars. How are you? I am having some technical difficulties as always because I'm not very an advanced technology person. But I am becoming that. I can. What I wanted to do here today was share a verbal presentation of handling yourself when dealing with toxic people. So, why this is important is because we all know toxic people. We all have a person and we can label them as toxic, and we don't want to be around them, and we don't really feel that good when we're talking to them or after talking to them. They take so much of our energy away. They don't leave us with anything but negative thoughts, and they're just not good for the growth and the personal development of a person who's working on personal development. A toxic person can actually hinder is one thing that can definitely hinder your personal development success. I have a presentation that I haven't gotten up online yet, so I'm in the middle of working on it. But I was like, hey, what the heck? I'm here. Let me just share what I have the best way that I can. So handling yourself when dealing with toxic people, because we all know that person that's maybe a manipulative family member. We all know the person who leaves us feeling worse off after we having the interaction with them. So we felt okay before, and then when we saw them and interacted with them, we're like, oh, they just drained our energy. Like, oh wow, okay, because everything's about them. But okay, so let me get into this. So what is important is not to just label these people as toxic. Actually, pinpoint the problematic behavior. So look for the signs of his toxic. Signs of toxic is a self-centered person, self-absorbing thinking person, a manipulative person, one who gives you emotional abuse, dishonest and deceit, not transparent. You don't really know what that person is really after. They're just, they have their own motives and they're not clear about them. That's definitely a toxic person. A person who doesn't offer a compassion or consideration towards you or whatever you're going through. That's a toxic person. Someone who's always has drama or a new conflict with them. Like, it's always a new drama. Every day it's a new drama or conflict with them every time you talk to them, or most of the times. So, here's some tips on how to respond to that behavior. So, one, avoid playing into their reality and pay attention to how you feel when their behavior is toxic. So, put yourself first. How do you feel when their behavior is toxic? When there's a self centered person that's only thinking about themselves, they're not being transparent, they're not being honest, they always have a new conflict or drama. How do you feel with that? They're taking your energy away. How does that make you feel? It can't make you feel good. Um, some see themselves as the victim in every situation. Definitely a toxic person sees themselves as a victim everything. They might they might they might shift the blame to someone else or tell a story that paints them in the more positive light. So they're not going to tell the whole truth. They're going to tell the parts of the story that makes them look good and makes you look bad. So you'll probably be like, yeah, agreeing with them, like, and that's probably not even the real story. And you may feel tempted to make slight gestures to prevent them from having an angry outburst, and you just might nod and smile and to keep them calm. Um, but they may see you as an encourager or a supporter. So be careful when you are doing that with a toxic person, because they might see you as you encourage their behavior, or you're supporting them if you are like agreeing with what they say. And I know that I fall into that a lot. Have fallen into that a lot. Like, you know. But that's kind of encouraging the behavior. And if I sit there and don't say anything, just listen with no reaction, that kind of makes them upset. So that's a toxic person when that happens. So, and they may see you as an encourager or a supporter. So simple gestures to keep them calm may feel like a safe way to deal with them, but they may see you as an encourager or a supporter. A disagreement might upset them, and if you disagree with them, they may become upset and will lower the chances of them ever involving you again. So pay attention to how they cause you to feel, because becoming aware of how someone's toxic behavior affects you can help better navigate interactions with them. So, some things to remember is that no one feels their best at all times. And most people say rude or hurtful things on some occasions that and they don't really mean it. But being in a bad mood can make you lash out at times, but that isn't necessarily toxic. What characterizes most of your interactions with them? So you ask yourself, if put downs, lies, and other types of verbal or emotional abuse characterizes most of your interactions with them, that could be labeled as toxic. Now, not somebody who maybe not having a good day or just tired, not in the mood, and they might lash out or curse at you, and they don't do it all the time, but no one is their best and no one is 100% all the time. So we really have to lower our expectations sometimes when we're always expecting someone to be something all the time, because no one is something all the time. So be careful when you're a distinction between that too. So look at how you are with them most of the time. So personal struggles do not excuse abuse. You don't have to accept that. Personal struggles, oh, put yourself first, okay? So someone who's going through a hard time, that does not give them the right to go around verbally abusing people, talking down on people, and just being altogether toxic because they're going through something. That is not acceptable. So you want to make sure that you understand that, and that that's not acceptable. I've had things happen where there's toxic people who were talking, like, lashing out on me, and then there's another person, oh, they're just having a bad time. But, like, well, yeah, ma'am, you're excusing that. Ma'am, you're making excuses for that person. And so they can do that around you. So make sure when you're around and they're around, I'm not around. Because if you're excusing that, I'm not going to be around for that. So you got to put yourself first. So put yourself first. The person at hand desperately needs your help to get them out of a bind every time. So think about this. Put yourself first. You might value your relationship with the person, but don't offer support on the risk of your own well-being. Don't offer to support them when it's coming out of you, when it's taking your energy, your money, your whatever that person needs to feel better, your time, No, not at your expense. Don't put yourself in the situation where it's at your expense. Because you really may think that you're helping a person, but you are encouraging that type of behavior when you pay for it at their expense. And they're always going to come back to you. And all it takes is for you for one time to not give them what they want. So you be careful and make sure that you have those boundaries set up with you. That's why I talk a lot about boundaries and setting boundaries and placing boundaries. That is definitely something that I had to do with people who are already in my life. And so now it's easy to implement them for people I don't know. I'm just meeting, so it's kind of easier to, like, share, how I am, and how I've changed, how I am now. And it's easier to implement boundaries on new people. But old people who are used to dealing with you this way and treating you this way, it's really hard to set boundaries on them, but it's possible. It's very possible. So, and you have to do it. And that's why I'm here to help you to set those boundaries in your life that you need for your personal development and growth. Because anything that you're going to need in this life from this point on, you're going to need your personal development. And nobody can ever take that away from you. So, and it'll help you in every situation. So, meet your own needs first. Put yourself first also means that you have enough emotional energy to carry yourself for your needs. So don't let them take your energy that you need to carry yourself for your needs. You know that you got to go home, cook your dinner, or you have to be there for your kids. You have to clean the house. You need your energy for you. So there's no need to go into your cup of energy and just drain it out and give it, because then you're not going to have any energy for yourself. And you're going to get into burnout and, just not feel good. And if you're anything like me, nobody's going to hear from you for a couple of days because you need to recharge your energy because you just gave it away. So be careful with that. Don't get into that. Protect your assets. This will not happen when you you are giving everything to someone who does not offer you anything in return. Offer compassion, but don't try to fix them. You can't fix that person. You cannot fix that toxic person. You can't fix any person. Nobody can be fixed because they're not even broken. Yes, I said it. They're not broken. You can't fix it. When you heard it say, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're not broken, and you can't fix a person. A person is a whole person, just like you are a whole person. You might have some breaking down in your mental capabilities. You might be broken down in your spirit. You might be broken down in some places in your life, but you're not a broken person. And all of anything that you need is already in you. Sometimes you just need people. All the time you just probably need somebody to bring that up and remind you of that, to let you know who you are, what you're capable of. You can't fix anybody. So if you get into trying to fix somebody, then you are getting yourself into trouble. You want to label yourself as a guru, like you're the god of somebody's life, and you're not. So you can't fix anybody, but you can offer compassion. So be careful not to try to fix a toxic person. But people can change now. They can change. Most people don't change because change is intentional. It requires you to do something. You can change, but you have to try to change. You won't accidentally change. You have to change on purpose. So, so they must be willing to put the work in. So, offer compassion and kindness. You won't be able to change them. They must commit to the change management. And don't exhaust your own emotional resources. They are not broken people. They are adults and not your responsibility. And you are not at fault. Toxic behavior can make you feel like you did something wrong. They might get personal with you and even accuse you of hurting them. They might try to twist your words. They might rack your own brain for you to think that you might have done something. They might even cause you to second guess yourself. They might try to gaslight you if they are masters of manipulators. A lot of toxic people are master manipulators. They cause you to second guess yourself. They can accuse you. They can blame you. And you don't need this when you're in your personal development. I mean, I have strategies against them, and I'll be happy to share. I'll be happy to share those with you if you work if you're working with me one on one, or if you book a call, if we're you coming up with a plan, or I might just give some of the answers away in some of the workshops. I'm actually working on some of the workshops now to give you some of the answers to help you get through these toxic people, because it's not hard. It's not easy. It is hard to overcome something like that, especially if you didn't know that they were a manipulator to begin with, and this is how they are. This is just a plan. This is just how they do. They can mask themselves in the beginning, but it's really hard to keep up that act. So if you have some patience, you can see that it won't take long for them to stop that act, because nobody can pretend for long. A manipulator is just going to pretend as long as they can. They know that they have you under their wing. So, watch out for that. And understand that their behavior doesn't have anything to do with you. It has everything to do with them. Restate your boundaries. Communicate clearly what you are not willing to hear or to tolerate. And calm yourself and put yourself first. And don't play into their reality. Don't play into it. Playing into their reality is the first big mistake when you're dealing with a toxic person. And you're going to need these personal development skills to help you get through that. I know there's a lot of toxic behavior out there, and I didn't want to just hold on to this because it's something I wanted to share. And when you can't avoid that person. Use your boundaries. Set your boundaries. Decide what you will and what you will not tolerate. Communicate your boundaries clearly and stick to them. Stick to them. That means when you hear me say stand your ground, stand it. Stick to your boundaries. Don't let them trip you up on your own values, because they will never respect you. Have an exit strategy. Like, tell them, look, I have some important things to do. Limit your time with them. Like, just say you only have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, to hang out with them or to talk to them. Put some limit and some time limits on toxic people. Have an exit strategy when you are dealing with toxic people and you have to deal with them. So, and don't get personal with them. Keep a personal conversation to keep it insignificant. So don't, get into like real personal things. Just if you're talking to them, don't get too impersonal. Keep it insignificant. Like, it really does not. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go do my hair different. Oh, I'm gonna go buy me some new lipstick. Oh, I'm gonna cook, spaghetti for dinner. In my case, would be fried chicken. We all know that. We know that. So if you don't know that, I mean, come on now, know that. Or something. What I cook is not really. It's not important to you. It's not. It's so. That's my point. Like, keep it insignificant. Don't get too personal with that person, and stick to the bottom line. It's important for them to know that you are not willing to tolerate. They need to know what you're not willing to tolerate. And cutting toxic people out may seem like the only way to escape their toxic behavior. And if you spend time with someone who exhibits toxic behavior, remind yourself their actions are not your fault or your responsibility. And they will try to make their actions your responsibility and try to make you, they have they can't pay their bills for the month because they have a $800 car note, So, they need you when they want to make you feel bad, because you can't help them. And, you don't have a car note, or you don't have a kids, or you don't have to. Like, okay, you know what? That's toxic behavior. Someone to expect you to do something for them because you don't have kids or you don't pay this much and that, but though you chose to put those standards in your life, you the one who had that. So like, I don't see how that's going to be my problem that I need to do this just because I don't, you know, I don't put myself in those situations. So, so don't let anybody make you feel bad for you can't help them out because, you know, you don't have to pay the bills that they invited themselves to pay, or they put themselves in situations that you're not in, and so you need to have some type of compassion for them because it's so hard, life is so hard for them. No, that's a toxic person. So I hope you find this helpful about how to tips on how to deal with toxic people. And I hope that you sign up to my email list, sign the list. I hope that you text *1 to the number 42828. I hope that you book a call with me. I think that is very, very one of the best things that I can offer to you right now is to get on the phone and see where you are, see where you're struggling in, and see how I can help you. But you have to be willing and you have to be ready to work on your personal development. And I prefer that you want to have a business that you want to start, and I can help you with point you into the right direction of how to enter the online market. A lot of people right now are doing different things. I've talked to people who are cooking or making t-shirts, who are just a lot of different things, like are selling actual mailing people different products, and just doing so many different things. So there's a lot of things out there, and I know that people in essential work right now, well, people who need to like physically be at their job, it's really hard for barbers and people who are doing hair and all of that. And like your physical, you really need to be there, because the people's hair is not going to do itself. I mean, you have to be there. So even that, there are ways that you can move your business to online. It is not as easy, but there are ways to, and different ideas you could come up with. So we can brainstorm some things together. I love helping people come up with different ideas and sharing different ideas on different things. But I really do want to make sure that your personal development is of standard and that you are ready to hear and listen and understand some of the personal development things that are needed to start your first time online business, because personal development is very important to me, and it's something that I can teach very easily and share very easily. So that's what I'm into, and plus I have a degree in leadership. I mean, so I would be in development anyway, management anyway. Is a top leadership with a top leadership position. So I'm just thrilled to be here online doing this way. And I'm here to help you. So I will see you around. Make sure you sign up for my email list, and I will talk to you later. Hope you enjoyed this handling yourself with toxic people. Talk to you later. Bye bye.